Hey guys, ILene Vick here for Teaching Adult Coloring with ILene Vick. It is Saturday, April 17th at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, and I am ready to get my coloring on. You know I always am. Alrighty, come on in. Come on in, sit right down. I can't help it but sing that song. Hi, Maddie. Alrighty. Come on in, everybody. Stephanie, welcome. There we go. Get you centered and ready to go. Oh my gosh. Rita. Hello, Rita. How are you? Rita from Guatemala. How are you, sweetie? Rhonda, hello. Alrighty. So good to see everybody. Alrighty, let's see what kind of trouble I can get into. Hello, Rhonda Green. Did I get my Starbucks? I kind of figured you were, Rita, that you were sneaking in. I've been missing talking to you. So, refresh my memory. Are you in the States? Oh my. Welcome to everybody that's in the observation deck, balcony, observing. Love you guys. Okay, who wants to tell me what's coming up on the 20th? Christy. Oh my gosh, great. Great, great, great. I love it when you guys can make it in. Good to see, so good to see everybody. That's right, Dawn is coloring along with me on the 20th. A duet coloring. And of course, you know that I've also got some other things planned, working on. Yes, I've got the music and the birds in the background. Okay. So I'm going to work on this for a little bit. There's a little bit of guitar music in there. I don't know if you can catch it, but it's there. It's just subtle. Sound check, please. Okay. Zoom in. zoom in. I did check this just before I went on camera. It was working. Zoom in. Zoom in. There we go. Alrighty. So I have been working out of the Forest Girls coloring book. Love, love, love this book. And I have been showing you how to use the gouache paint, which rhymes with squash. And I have been having a lot of fun doing this for you. I hope that you've been enjoying it. Hey, Pearl. Good to see ya. And what I'm going to be doing at some point in time is I'm going to have a little bit of a contest. And what I'm going to be doing with that contest is I'm going to be challenging you to take colored pencil and creating the same type of background that I created with the gouache paint. And I'm doing this for a reason. This is my scratch piece that I was playing around with the other day, and now I'm doing the actual piece. So this is my play piece, this is my coloring for camera piece, or final piece I should say. Alright. I'm pretty sure I got the gouache paint listed in our affiliate list. I wanted to thank you guys for purchasing from it. We've got about $12 now in credits. Yay! That is so cool. So let me pull out my paints. And don't go weird on me because I'm pulling paints out and not pencils. Pencils will come later. And what I did is I swatched all my colors. And that way I can see exactly how it's going to look. Alright. So what I'm going to do, for your edification, I am going to emulate the background on this piece. And if you're not, now remember, on your gouache paint, you do not need much at all. I mean, teeny, teeny, tiny bit. It's wonderful. All right. My studio's in an uproar right now because I got in that new shelving that I was telling you about. And my stuff is all over the place. Hi, Lila. All right, so I'm going to pull a couple of these colors. Now, what I would suggest is that you go ahead and take a toothpick. There is a method to my madness. Sandra, so good to see you. And I would go ahead and transfer the paint with that toothpick. That's how little that you need, guys. It is ridiculously small. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start puttering around with the background. Let me get my protective sheet behind here. Hey Sandra, I saw some of the services today for the funeral for Prince Philip. Now, next to the paint, I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of water in here. And then that way I can go ahead and just transfer between the two when I want to start putting my color down. All right, so I'm going to wet my brush just a little bit. Now, unlike last time, I'm going to be more circumspect. Oh, I bet you it was sad. Yeah, Lila, you watched it, I'm sure. And it was sad that the Queen had to sit alone in the church because of the COVID issue. That made it worse. But she's got her family and she's so accustomed to her duty. So everybody will get through this. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is I'm picking out some areas here where I want to go ahead and use the lighter tan. Yes, she is very strong. You know, it's really interesting too when they talk about her is all the prime ministers that have served under her. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is I'm going through and working on this background with the gouache. And this is really going to show you how versatile this stuff is. And again, I'm emulating the picture so that you can see what the idea is with this. I'm not worrying about the streaks at the moment. Oh, hi Helen, her birthday's Wednesday. Oh, that'll be bittersweet, I'm sure. Okay. So I'm going to pull a little more of this paint. And the thing that we want to do now is we want to have just a soft background here. Now, normally I don't do the backgrounds first, but I want to do it this time just to show you how this paint functions. Now remember, some of the paint soaks into the paper, but it is still basically reworkable. And you're right, Sandra, no political parties, no pomp. You know, and they said that they toned back the service. And I think the simpleness of it made it more poignant. I really do. Well, Helen, you don't have to worry about your comments. I was able to delete them, so no problem. Yeah, he wanted very simple. All right. Okay. Now, the really neat thing, we were talking about the gouache and the watercolor, and there's that point that when you put it on too thick, which I'm way away from, I mean, there's no way that this is too thick, that the paint will crack. But when you add your water, you can go ahead and add your different tones of paint. And right now I'm just creating a very relaxed background to get that feathery look. Yeah, that Jeep to carry his body, yeah. Now, for those of you who don't have this paint, I hope you're paying attention, because I will be running a contest around this kind of look. And what that contest will be all about is that you create the same kind of background with colored pencil. And the reason that I'm doing that is because I want to show you that no matter what your medium is, that you have the ability to emulate, in this particular case, the look that the artist did, and that's the one I'm following. And I'll show you that original picture in a second. No, you cannot use watercolor for the contest. And since Helen was so generous with a gift certificate, or an Amazon, the prize will be a $50 purchase of product. And what I want you to show that with creativity, you can do something like this. Now, is it going to look the same? Of course not. Ooh, this is so pretty. And all I'm doing now is using the gouache paint, little tiny drop that I picked up in my palette tray, and then doing this background. I want you to be creative with your background. And I know full well that you can do it, because that's what this group does. Okay, so let me pull some of this color down to the bottom. And I'm going to stretch you guys. I'm doing this for a reason. But meanwhile, I want to show you how neat this gouache looks and how this effect looks. And oh my gosh, literally just a little teeny tiny bit of paint. Yeah, and Melba is putting together a picture for our group. She's going to send it to me to post. And then we'll get that puppy posted. And then we'll see what you can do with it. Okay. So the more versatile, okay, you are with your supplies, the neater your stuff's gonna look. Okay. Now notice if I get a little bit over an area with my paint, I immediately push it away with my finger, so you have a teeny tiny window that you can do a real quick correction. I can't wait to see Melba's picture. I've seen it in progress and it's gorgeous. And Melba, be sure when you submit it that you sign it, please. I really love it when my artists in this group contribute their talents to pieces here for us. Everybody see how beautifully now this is coming together? Now I'm allowing my paint towards the bottom to be a little thicker, and that's going to give me a richer color. And I've just got a simple paintbrush, nothing special. I bought these off of eBay. Nope, we're not going to tell you the subject yet. Oh, good. You got, hi, Stacy. You got caught up, right? Yeah, we had a big night last night. Okay. So what I'm looking for is that you guys are able to replicate this look on the page with pencil. And that's why you cannot use watercolor, Maddie. Your pencils are going to be what you're using for that. Okay, so let me go ahead and hit up a few more places with this tan-ish color. Okay. So what I want to show you now is I've got Okay, guys, I think we can not talk about Daniel right now. Let's focus on him as an artist. Oop. All right. So do you guys see what I'm doing now? I really wish I could figure out a way to get both of these images here. And Daniel, if you're watching, I hope we're not embarrassing you. We apologize for any comments. Okay. Zoom out. Okay. Oops. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Just gotta check something here. Okay. So does everybody see now how I'm pulling this light tan here based on the picture? Zoom in on the left. So I'm going to be working with tans and pinks and purples. And if you notice that we've got the darker purple at the bottom, okay? So that's what I'm aiming for. So now I'm going to take a little bit of my purple and pink, and I'm going to start with my toothpick here and pull up this purple pink here. And again, notice very, very little. And it's funny because when I first got these paints, I was very disappointed because the tubes were so small. No, I don't, guys, look, let's get something straight here. I don't mind you talking about Daniel. We're talking about Daniel as an artist. But when we start into physical aspects, that's when it gets into be an issue. Okay? That's what I'm saying. I love Daniel's work, by the way. Okay, so I'm going to pull a little bit of water here. Nope, it can be any color, Mary. Okay, now here's where the magic of the gouache comes in. All right. So what I want to do is I want to start working with my purples towards the bottom. And if you'll notice, I'm going to put that purple, in this case, right on top of the tan. Oh, that's cool. He posted on your timeline about the 27th? Cool. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Hold on. Actually, it's the 29th. But we'll get that straightened out, not a problem. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm pulling some of this purple into the picture. We'll get that straightened out, guys. Thanks for the heads up on that. I am particularly excited about Daniel because of the way he creates his work. He is a prolific creator and illustrator, and that's what I'm so excited about. Yeah, Thursday the 29th, Lila. I actually haven't officially posted it yet because we've got Dawn's event coming up, and I'm going to be actually posting that tonight. Okay, so what I want you to see is I've got this purple now working towards the bottom of the page. And when I put that purple on top of the tan, oh, Maddie, sorry to hear that. Headaches are not fun. You can see now how I'm starting to transition that color, okay? And you can also see how that purple, with its wetness, is energizing the paint, the brown paint underneath that. And that really is the neat thing about this gouache. And just like coloring, I'm starting with my lighter colors. Hi, Amy. So Amy is having a birthday dinner with family for your nephew. How cool. How old is he? Zoom in. Yeah, his gnome book is going to be pretty cool. So he's got, I need to check with Jillian. And I have to see how many books he's got in the works with her. Oh, that's cool, Lila. About Ronnie. I hope they're having a great time, their anniversary. Now, if you put some paint on and you feel that it's a little too streaky, then just go ahead and pop in a little water. Does that make sense? Zoom out. And I know that several of you have this book. So if you want to use this page as your entry, that's cool. Here we go. Hey, Katie. Zoom out. Okay, now you can see, here's a good view for you. You can see now how I'm working this purple over on the bottom. And again, when you first apply your paint, if you are using the gouache or use it in the future, do not worry if it's streaky when you first put it down. All of that is totally changeable. Is that a word, changeable? And again, I'm just following the protocol of the picture just so that you can see how I'm putting this together. Anybody have any questions about that? All right. Now, the other thing I would mention to you too that's neat, you guys know how I like to put together the coloring and then go back and tweak it. And as I mentioned earlier, that is totally doable with this gouache. Oops. Because of, let me see if I can get that teeny tiny spot. There we go. Because of its properties. I'll take a quick look at it, Stacy. But right now I would be saying no, it's not going through the back. Give me 2 seconds, Stace, and I'll be glad to look at that for you. Zoom out. Okay, see how that's coming together? And no, it's not coming through the back at all. Zoom in. The only thing that it's doing is crinkling my paper a little bit. Zoom out. And again, I don't want you to worry about the roughness of the paint. I will be smoothing that out unless you want that look. I use the spray. Yep. Okay. So I want you to look at this piece that I'm doing from different standpoints. First of all, from the standpoint of doing it with the gouache paint. Oop, hopefully I didn't get a leaf there. And also from the standpoint of how I'm putting these colors together that I would be doing with either the gouache or marker or pencil. And we'll run that color up just a little bit. And notice also, zoom in. I have no problem putting down a little bit of that paint and then just gently smearing it, right? Oh man, this is just turning out so beautifully. Wait until you see what happens when I do the greenery in it, the flowers. All right. And as Lila is mentioning, thank you, Lila. For those of you in the balcony, please join the contest. And when I judge this, I'm looking for creativity. So I don't want anybody saying, oh, I'm not good enough to do this. Don't even go down that path, guys. You know that that's not this group, right? Okay. Let's see here. And I love the playfulness with this that you can do. Zoom in. Now, this area right here where I'm adding this purple, see how beautifully I can just go ahead and smear that a little with my finger or not, excuse me. Beautiful, beautiful look. Zoom out. Okay, now I'm going to come back with a little bit darker purple yet. So let me dip into my container here. zoom in. So again, I'm just going to take my toothpick and see this has formed a skin over it. Even though I had it in a closed container, and that's okay, no biggie. So I'll take my toothpick and just put a little bit in there. A little dab will do ya. In fact, that's probably too much right there that I put in. Again, this paint, oh my gosh, it'll last till the end of time. Oh my. A little bit of water next to this. Now, what I'm doing is I'm picking up my paint from the full color. Uh-oh, I don't think I want that color. Oh, we can do that. Okay. And putting it in here with my water. I mean, just a teeny tiny drop, and boom, that blue exploded. All right. And this is where it's going to turn really neat. Let me adjust my camera a little bit here. And I want you to see now where I'm putting in this blue on top here. And that is re-wetting the paint that I just put on this page. And that's where you're getting your really neat mixes and effects. Everybody see that? And I really hope that you see, again, how versatile. Now, I just added a little bit of water to this to pull this purple up further. And to dab it in between my flowers. So I am literally pulling from my wet spot here to carry it upward here. And Melba, feel free to chime in anytime. And I'll show you the original picture in a second. And this will make sense in a minute as soon as I pull out. Now, the other thing that I want to point out to you, do you remember when we were doing the Disney Kincaid book and you guys were going nuts about trying to get the page that you were coloring to look like the one on the left, which was basically professionally done? That's not the thing to do. The colorings that are included in these books are a guide. That's all it is. It's not something for you to aspire to. And I really want to make sure that you understand that. So if any of you are going to do that Disney Kincaid book in the future, it's a guide. That's all it is. Okay, let me see what we got here. Oh, that's cool, Helen. I'm glad Daniel friended you. Super. That's good for him to talk to other artists. Hey Melba, shoot me that picture before you make it grayscale. Zoom out. Zoom out. Can everybody see this comparison now? I wish this picture on the left wasn't so small, but it's what we have to deal with. Oh, that's all right, Melba. No worries. Okay, so let me pull this up so you can see this. Everybody see how I'm doing this? Okay? I'm emulating this picture on the left. I'm not trying to copy it. Okay. Now, your paper quality, I know this is an obvious statement, but it's worth saying it. Your paper quality is going to dictate how many times you can reactivate this paint. Now, if you have the Krylon spray, you'll get away with more of it. And do not worry about crinkles, okay? Oh man, I love how this is turning out. Love it. I'm going to pull one more color, I think, for you. And for those of you that didn't see that earlier, on my tins, this is the one with the, yeah, the light grayscale, great. The tins with my blues and greens, that's what I put my paints in, blues, greens, and then at the end of the spectrum, my golds, silvers, and black. So my other tin that's got the koi on it has got my greens, pinks, yellows in it. So that's just an idea to help you set up your colors. Okay. So I'm going to work on I'm going to make Sandra nervous by doing this over the book. I'm going to work with a very, very light pink. Okay, Melba, I'll look at it when I can. Just sit tight with it, please. Zoom in. Zoom in. So this is color 704 actually. and it's a very, very soft pink. So I'm going to put that in there. I actually, this one I believe is called bubblegum pink. I have to look. But I'm also going to take a little bit of my fleshy tan color here, and I'm going to pop a little bit in there just to mute down that color. Now, you don't have to be a paint mixing expert to do that. Use your eyeballs and your brain. So I'm going to go ahead and put my water right next to my color, just like I did before. Got a little blue in it, but that's okay. And then I'm going to pick up some pink here, some very, very light pink. Now, the neat thing about this too, yeah, I know, Sandra. I've got it on paper. I've got paper in between. Now, if you want to thin out this pink a little more, is go ahead and move some of this pink over here and put a little more water on it. So right now, I've got 3 shades of pink. The color out of the box, diluted, and then diluted even more. Okay. And now I'm going to go in with my twice diluted pink. It's very versatile. And I'm going to throw that onto my paper. And remember, if you glop too much on there, you take your paper towel and you dab it once. Boom, you're done. And again, for those of you not using gouache because you don't have it, I want you to see how I'm coloring this. So this is not, this tutorial I'm doing or coloring that I'm doing, is not just an exercise in gouache. It's an exercise in coloring this whole piece. Everybody see that? Well, Sandra, but the thing is, if I had a boo-boo with it, then you guys get to see how I would fix that, right? But does everybody see how with that pink and how I made that color lighter? I mean, I'm just having a field day with this. And I don't want anybody that's new to this stuff to be overwhelmed with it. Absolutely no reason to be overwhelmed. If you're overwhelmed, then I'm failing you as teaching this. Right? All right. Well, hi Daniel, how are you? Hey Daniel, when you write your bio, I think what you're doing is you're overcomplicating it. Just start writing simple line sentences. Just like what you told us when you were online with us here last night, that you started doodling since you can remember. So write that down and then move on to the next thing. So maybe you'd say something like, and then in grade school, I ran into a great art teacher and he or she helped me. Or, you know, just write single line sentences. That's all you have to do. Don't overcomplicate it, sweetie. Does that make sense? In other words, people are just curious how you got from there to here. Write it like you're writing a roadmap. Just pretend you're giving directions to somebody. Does that make sense? And what Lila said, be yourself and write what you want. It doesn't matter how rough it is. Jillian and I can help you with that. Truly, don't overcomplicate it. Does that make sense? Oh, the history that gets pretty complicated. Okay, well, touch on the highlights then. For example, talk a little bit about people that have helped you with your art and influenced you and helped you move forward with it. Yeah, keep kiss, keep it simple. Yeah, yeah, it's keep it simple, stupid, but yeah. Okay. All right, everybody see now how this is coming together with this pink? And I gotta tell you guys, this playing around with this paint in my palette, I almost feel like a little kid. All right, let me go back, let me go back. Yeah, and Daniel, don't worry about those hairpin turns. I mean, you really don't worry about that. You know, you don't, for example, you don't have to say, um, in 2002 I broke my leg and, you know, and it fractured my right hand and I couldn't color anymore, you know, da-da-da-da-da-da. Just talk about maybe something that inspired you, your training. Are you self-taught? Did somebody help you? Did somebody in school inspire you? Zoom out. Okay, so I'm going to pull a little bit of, let's see what I want here. I'm going to pull a little bit of blue. Now, everybody see how I put that little dot of blue right here? And now I'm just going to mush it with my water. And the neat thing is you can thin this out as much as you want. So I'm going to take some of this that I've thinned out, and thanks, Helen. And I'm going to take a bunch of water and thin it out even more. And really that's going to end up making it almost like a wash. And the neat thing is I can take that super thinned out blue and go over my previous purple with this. And pull in that color as well. That's how versatile this is. Okay. So Daniel, do those comments make sense? Your bio can be as short as a paragraph. And the reason actually that this is good information for people is people are curious as to how you got to your level of talent that you're at now. That's really all that is. Because when you're doing artwork like this, people say, oh my gosh, how does he do, you know, how did he do that? Did he go through, you know, years and years of training? Did he do like a lot of little doodles? And then his doodle grew into really neat stuff. Don't overthink it, Daniel. Okay. So now I'm just going to get these little teeny tiny areas here. And I know that this looks chaotic at the moment, but trust me, when we get those plants in there, all right, let me pull this here. And then the also neat thing is I'm taking a little bit of my blue, very, very light shade, and I'm putting it on top of my brown and my pink because I want to go ahead and integrate that throughout. And that way we've got the balance going. Right now I've got this gosh awful line right here. Need to do something to get rid of that. So we'll go ahead and pull that this way. There we go. And I'll soften that transition. Now, you got to be careful when you're rubbing your paper because this is where your paper might pill on you a little bit. Okay? Oh, that's much better. Get rid of that. I promise all this is the bruise you're using a flat bristle, is the brush I'm using a flat bristle brush. Yeah, let me show it to you in close-up. Let me clean it off. You can use flat, you can use round, you know, guys, whatever floats your boat. Okay, everybody see, let me see, there you go. See that? Let's see if you can see that. It's flat. All right, let me see if I can do a better job of showing you. Hold on. There you go. It's flat. Okay? But I don't want you using flat just because I use flat. I want you to use whatever brush color works for you. Brush, not color. Oh yeah, shape works for you. And what I really want you to see too is there's so much freedom in working with this paint and this style of coloring. All right. Oh yeah, I certainly do know who Bob Ross was. The Little Happy Accidents. Daniel, you still with us? Okay. So let me go ahead and put my tins to the side. And clean off my brush. And the cleanup on this stuff is absolutely phenomenal, guys. Yeah, you can, yeah, I've seen him paint with a huge big brush. All right. Zoom out. All right, everybody see the side by side now. Again, on the left, it's a road map. To give you ideas. And on the right, this is what I've come up with so far. Okay. So let me bend this back just to flatten it out. Anybody have any questions or comments? Yeah, it dries very quickly. Very, very quickly. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, see? But, as I told you guys, if I took water or spilled water on this, I could like jumble all this together. That's what gouache does. And that's what's so neat about it, and that's the artistic side of it. All right, so let's play with some pencil work now. I'm going to refrain from using any markers. I want to go ahead and use my browns, or my, whatever color I end up using, so that you can start to see how cool this is going to look together. All right. So questions or comments about what I've done so far? Does this interest you? Does it spark some ideas? Zoom in. Zoom in. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and start in on my coloring with my pencil. Da, 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 da. All right, let's play with this. Sandra, yes, they form a little skin on the top, but it's basically of no consequence at all. But that's why you have to store them in tins just to keep them, I don't want to say viable because that's not it at all. They're always going to be viable. But yeah, they form just a little bit of a skin. And I'm sure if I left it in there for 6 months. Oh, our little bugless back. Even if they dried out, that's not a problem at all because you can regenerate them. And that's why when you do colorings with this stuff, you got to be really careful that after the fact, yeah, the bug wants to make a comment live. Da-da-dum. All right, so let's play with this. Now, this is where this piece is really going to shine, guys. All right, let me see what I got here. I can't wait for you to see this. And I missed a little bit of blue right here. So I'm going to cheat and I'm just going to touch it up with my pencil. There we go. No biggie. Excuse me. I am here. Okay, guys, trying it again. It's Saturday, April 17th at 8:45 p.m. I was bumped earlier, so I'm back on again. Hopefully we can get all these issues resolved. I hate that when Facebook bumps me. I don't know what the problem is. Let me know that you can hear me. Thank you, Rhonda. Zoom in. All right, Lila, good. Thank you. I see you there. Zoom in. There we go. All right. Good night, Katie. Okay, now this is where this piece is going to shine. Zoom in. Is we've got our background with our gouache. And now I'm going to work on these leaves. Which is going to really give us our color boost against the soft background. Okay. And then you can see how I'm going through here and I'm darkening my tips and leaving that center highlighted, which is one of the techniques of coloring leaves. And I hope that you can see now, zoom out, how this is really starting to look pretty cool against that background. And what I want you to see here, zoom in, zoom in, is the contrast between the vibrancy of the colored pencils and the softness of the gouache background. Now, I don't want you to think that gouache paint is just for soft backgrounds. Absolutely not. I'm just happening to be doing that on this particular project. And then, of course, you can go ahead and tint and shade as you want to make these things really stand out beautifully. Anybody have any questions or comments so far? And I don't want you to be afraid to play around with your colors. That's the whole point of coloring, folks. All right, so let's get some really neat greens and browns in here, which is what I'm doing on these leaves. Stacy, let me know that you can hear me without any problem. Okay, thank you, sweetie. I'm so pissed right now. I get so tired of our broadcast being interrupted. Yeah, on this part of the green, I'm pressing a little harder. So I came in with my light, and then I did the darker on the streaks. Same pencil. Yeah, but it really wreaks havoc with the continuity of the broadcast. And some people don't know just to come back in again. So it's annoying. No, I'm not pressing hard because I'm pissed. I'm pressing harder because I want my shading. Oh, okay. Da, 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 da. Let's see here. Yeah, I saw that Johanna Bosford ended up going on YouTube. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's stupid. You know, it really is. Facebook wants you to use their services and stuff so they can deluge you with and bombard you with advertising, but yet they have garbage product. There's no reason why this should fail like this. I mean, I know my equipment's fine because I just bought all new equipment. So it's not me. But see, what annoys me is we had upwards of 20 people in here. And then every single time it bombs out, we lose numbers. And don't get me wrong, it's not that I'm counting numbers per se. But I hate that for our new people. And I do not like that color. Oh yeah, because I want to buy a fake cheap product from China? What do you mean, Sherry? Wrong color on the sleeve, so I'm fixing it. You know, it's just when you get into a flow with coloring and then you're interrupted with garbage like that. Okay. Yeah, that's a good idea, Stace. That if it gets bumped, just come back. Okay, I really hope that you can see how beautiful this is. And what really makes a problem for me, every night after I do my live broadcast, I upload this video to YouTube. So then I have to go through and upload 2 segments, sometimes 3. Oh, it's amazing. All right, I'm done ranting. I'm not here to rant. I'm here to have a good time. And I hope that you guys are seeing how beautifully this is all coming out. Okay, let me find a nice dark green. Da-da. Ooh, there we go. I love it. Don't you just love it? Chicka-boom, chicka-boom, boom, boom. Okay, now I'm coming in with a darker green yet because I want that dimension on my leaves. So what I did with these leaves, guys, I used one pencil lightly for the background. Then I darkened using that same pencil some of the areas on the leaves. And now I'm taking a second darker pencil yet. and giving them that really nice dimension. Everybody see that? Well, wait, there's more. Everybody see how rich this is looking now? Now, I'm going to take a little bit of brown, not much, and I'm going to hint it into the green. Zoom in. And by the way, Lila, I don't think Teresa Davis joined our group because I'm not seeing her name on the membership list. So I'm just going to go ahead and contact her. And see if we can get her in as a guest artist. All right, everybody see how I put that little touch of brown in there? Zoom out. Out. There we go. Pudding pies and cheeses from Walmart. Oh, Lila, I'm not worried about it. She probably gets a lot of invites and she can only spread herself, you know, so thin. And unless she knows who I am, she just may figure it's another group. Oh, don't like that green. Don't worry, I'll contact her. That's right, party at Sherry's place after 5. Oh, we are growing, Sherry. By leaps and bounds. You don't know the half of it. I actually believe that we are almost up to 2,000 members in this short of a time. So that's pretty cool. I don't know what the heck this is right here, but unless it's just a large leaf. Can I put a smaller package of the gouache? Okay, I'll see what I can do. Rhonda, send me the link from Amazon of what you want me to put on the list, and I'll be glad to do that. Just message it to me. Okay, so now I'm just going to pick up this lighter green here. Yeah, I'll be glad to do that. And you know how to do that, Rhonda, from Amazon? Is you click that little box in the upper right-hand corner that's got the arrow in it, and it says copy link, and then you send me that link. and I can have it back to you PDQ. Oh, wait a minute. You asked me for some other things. Yeah, you know how to do it. Okay, so now I'm just playing with the green here. Same type of thing that you can go ahead and vary the green. Don't be afraid to add brown to your green, guys. It really makes your leaves look pretty cool. You saw how I did that over here on these larger leaves? And this is where this piece is really going to shine, because we're going to get really dimensional now with these leaves. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and blend this up just a little bit. Oh, sorry about the funeral. Way too many funerals lately. Now notice how I'm bringing this brown up the side on some of these leaves. You can bring it up on one side, you can bring it up on two sides. Have fun with it. Now I'm going to take a really dark brown here now, almost a black. Zoom in. And I'm just going to touch that at the base. Okay? And down the stem. Just a little bit, guys. Oh, Sherry, I wish you would go through affiliate more. That would be great. Affiliate list. Well, thank you, Stephanie. I'm glad we're keeping you strong. We love you, kiddo. Zoom out. Yeah, Sherry, especially you, I would really appreciate if you wouldn't mind shopping through affiliate. Okay, so here's some areas again that I missed the background color. So I'm going to go ahead and pop that in with the pencil. Now, remember how I always tell you guys, well, Sherry, we are here for each other. Remember how I told you not to end a color along a line that bisects? So I've got blue here, so I'm going to bring the blue out just a little bit on the other side. Sherry, do you know how to get the Amazon link to a product? You just click on that little box. It has that arrow in it on the right-hand side. And you press copy link, and then you message it to me. Zoom out. Look at that, guys. Is that not grand? Well, I was desperate for shelving, and I bought a $100 shelving unit, that metal one, and I did it through affiliate. Okay, so let me work down this side just a little bit. Ooh, I missed some more spot here. My gosh. You haven't driven in 4 months? Okay. Don't forget how. Hey, listen, don't feel bad. I drive so little, my battery keeps running down in my car, and I have to keep jumping it to get it going again. Okay. So I'm just filling in where I missed it with my gouache paint. And getting that color background back in. You're in assisted living, Rhonda, and you just started going out again after a year. Wow. Yeah, you probably will need that golf cart on that farm, Sherry. Okay. So I'm going to work on a little bit of brown again on this side. With that gold in between. And you know I'm going to blend it. Zoom in. Zoom in. Zoom in. I'm the same way, guys. I'm 95% in my between, you know, my studio and so forth. My outreach is electronic. Oh, you're right. Thank God we have pets. You, Lila, you are absolutely right. And we have each other, right? Okay. You know, guys, I wonder sometimes if this pandemic, now, understand it's different for people in different circumstances, but I'm wondering if in some cases it didn't bring people closer together because of being able to go online. I think people are using FaceTime more, right? A one-eyed bird, quail with tumor, and one-legged bird. There you go, Sherry. That you're taking care of disabled wildlife. And honestly, guys, bottom line, we were dealt a hand with this pandemic, and the question comes down to what are we going to do with it? Oh man, can you guys see how beautiful this is coming out? They just come back every year. Oh, that's great, Sherry. I love it. Yes, Stephanie, I didn't know you're on TikTok. It's just something I haven't gotten into yet. Okay, now everybody see these pretty purples now that I'm starting to introduce? Yeah, when there wasn't travel, people didn't travel between farms or homes or whatever. Yeah. I think a whole new world has been opened to a lot of people through going online and being in groups like my group. Okay, so I'm working my way now into my purples. Oh, Sherry, that's neat about leaving that note. Yeah, you got to tell them that they're going to be coming to you. Ta-da. So I've got a really nice light purple here. And I'll go ahead and carry that over on a couple of other of my leaves here. Okay, so we've got that. Probably want to introduce a little pink or purple into here. We got this one. I hope you guys can see how pretty this is turning out. Yeah, purple is my fav color too. Purples, blues, but purple, yeah, purple. If I had to choose one color. Now, I'm using a darker shade of purple here. I got a different pencil. I'm not using just a darker version of the initial one that I put down here. And interestingly enough, I'm going to show you this, is I'm going to take a little bit of brown and put that brown in there as well. Yeah, purple, blue, and red, Lila. I agree with you. Now, I'm not going to use a lot of brown, just a little bit. And the reason that I'm doing that is because I wanted to carry this brown theme because I've got it on the right-hand side of my page. And so I'm putting a little bit of it here on the left, just to carry that theme over. And then I'll blend this very lightly. And that's making this purple look dusty. All right, let me make sure we got it here. Zoom out. Everybody see where I'm going with this? Exactly, Sherry. You want that balance of color. So I've got a lot of purples and blues over here, and that's why I popped a little bit over on the right-hand side. Now, if you're new to coloring, don't let that throw you. That's something that you'll learn. And basically the concept is if you use a color in one area, you want to balance it out in another. So I have an earth tone green here. Now, I'm not going to be super concerned about smoothness at the moment because I'll come back and blend that. And now down here at the bottom, we're starting to get into our darker purples, okay? So what that tells me is I can go ahead and darken in my browns. And I want you to also notice, can I add watercolor or gouache over pencil? Good question. I'll have to test it out. I'm thinking that you can, but we'll see. When you're laying down pencil, you're laying down a wax barrier. So we need to see how it responds. And guys, don't be afraid to experiment. If you're not sure about something like that Rhonda just asked me, have at it, try it out. I don't want to see you guys afraid of experimenting, right? And actually, Rhonda, if you do that before I do, let us know and show us an example. Post it in the group. If it doesn't work out, just say, hey, one of those seemed like a good idea at the time things. Okay. So now I need to make some decisions about what I'm going to do about these flowers. Don't ever, ever, ever be afraid to try something. I am going to turn you into a wild woman. You better believe it. I don't know why people are so afraid to experiment. Oh man, this is just turning out drop dead gorgeous, guys. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just going over lightly with my greens here, my olive green. And remember how I tell you that I tint with colors as placeholders? Let's see, we got here. At the moment, I'm just tinting everything. I know, because they're perfectionists. That's right. You know, and guys, Lila brings up a good point, because you see this all the time in coloring. Oh, I'm afraid to do this. I'm afraid to do that. That's not what art is about. Art is about experimenting and playing, and hi Wanda, and using new colors. Okay, now we've got, all right. Let me see something here. So I'm going to play with this little heart here, plant. Oh, I hear sirens in the background. I hate that. Zoom out. Good night, Rhonda. I'm here for 25 more minutes. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb with this, which is not a good thing for me, because I'm not a small person. Yeah. Oh man, I love my eraser. I have an unhealthy relationship with my eraser. Oh, yes. Okay. So do you guys remember when on my other sample piece I went ahead and did this? I did a light pink and then a darker pink and then put the little white on there. Well, that's what I'm going to do. So It's going to be a little off script, but it'll still work, and I'll show you why. Zoom in. Oh, the electric eraser is on the list? Oh, yeah. Okay, now this is why this is going to work. We have got purples like crazy, right? Work together. So I'm going to go ahead and give my flowers a base color of pink. Pink. How pretty. And then what I'm going to do, come in with a healthy red. On the sides of the flowers. Notice that when it's pink, I'm not coloring it in necessarily solid. I'm doing a combination. I'm streaking it a little bit. Yeah, the battery erasers are fantastic. You know my story. I always thought they were useless little toys. Oh my gosh. Pry it out of my cold, hands, cold, dead hands. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'll use my little Arteza white gel pen. Hey Sherry, have you used your Artezas yet that I finally got to you? And I'm going to go ahead and put my little white doohickey here for the reflection. Everybody see how? Oh, see, I told you you'd love them. You're welcome. My apologies for it taking so long. The coverage is fantastic. And they don't skip very often. Now, the first line that I put through here on these flowers, I went down like this, but to highlight it now, I'm dotting the color on, because if I stroke the white, it's going to pull up what I just put there before. And the reason I'm going back over this is my pink is showing through a little bit. So I want to highlight that. Yes, they're the white Artezas. All right. Now I'm also going to take this pinkish red that I just put on top of here, and I'm going to color up this flower, which looks like a heart. And the only reason I'm doing this with the red is because it looks like a heart. So I'm just playing with the image a little bit. And then the other two leaves, I'm going to go ahead and work with my greens. So it's kind of like what Dawn does when she buries her hearts in her drawings and coloring books. Everybody see how cool that looks? Zoom out. Zoom out. Now, I'm doing it just because. Okay? It's an artistic decision to do that. And I'm going to take, let's see what we got here. Sorry, I'm looking for one of my colors here. There we go. I'm going to take a little bit of my mint green. It can be a different green if you want. And I'm just going to add a little bit of dimension into this by adding this other green. Zoom in. Now, this is where new people get flustered, is I'll be asked, what color did you use? What brand pencil did you use? Da, da, da. Doesn't matter. What you want to do is just use a brighter green on top of your khaki green that I put down here before, or the earth tone green, whatever you want to call it. I don't want you to follow this lockstep. I want you to concentrate on the fact that you're using different shades of green and not concentrating on what the pencil brand is and what the exact green is that I'm using. All you want to do is visually use this different shade of green. And then I'm going back over it again with my earth tone. I'll be off in 10 minutes, by the way, guys. Does that make sense, guys? Zoom out. And then I have a couple spots here that I missed with my gouache. So I'll just go ahead and fill that in with a pencil. That's the closest to what I was working with. Zoom out. All right. Everybody see how this is all coming together now? And I have a couple areas that I missed, so I'll go ahead, get a comparable pencil around that. Just fill in those little puppies. And then what I'm doing on the background is if you have some areas that look a little wonky, let's say you've got a color that looks like it abruptly ends, fix it with your pencil. Okay? What do you think? Love you, Maddie. We'll see you later. So what do you guys think? Now it's still gonna look a little chaotic because we don't have the girl colored in, and I don't have the flowers colored in over here, and I've got a few stems of flower here. And this is a departure for me in me demonstrating to you, because normally I don't do the background before I do the foreground. I just wanted to show you that process. All right, zoom in. Now, obviously, I did not follow the color scheme because this is just your tans here, your lighter whites here, and then it went down into the pinks and the purples. I went a little more with more color here. Zoom out. Let me see if I can get an in-between shot here. Okay, there we go. And again, that's totally up to you. And the thing that I also want to point out to you is this. If your coloring goes off the rails for some reason when you're emulating a picture on the left, then just go with the flow. Now, let me show you something else real quick, and then I'm going to call it an evening. I'm going to grab a little bit of water. I want you to see this. And I've got a slightly wider brush than what I was using before. Hello, Daisy. Haven't seen you for ages. Now watch. When I go over this gouache with my wet brush, it reactivates the paint. Everybody see that? So now, if you have any areas that have not blended well for some reason, for example, if you have the abrupt blue, going into a different color, this is where you can go ahead and work with that. So this is the hallmark now of your gouache paint, is you can blend in all those areas. This is an important point that I want you to see. Now, if you have streaks of color that you really like, don't get rid of them. But see, this is where you can even out any areas that you feel are looking a little too streaky. And you can even out your colors where they blend together. Everybody see how that's a little smoother now? Fun. Now, same thing on the bottom here. That's looking a little rough to me. So I'm going to go ahead and smooth this out. with my brush. Boom. Right? Much better. Everybody see this and that point that I'm making with smoothing out now these colors? Now, and watch this. I'm going to pick up with my wet a little bit of the purple from the bottom, and I'm going to tap it into the top. Everybody catch that? Cool beans. And then when you're done, just clean off your brush in your little cup of water. And I've got a garbage can here next to my left that's lined. I just dump the water right into the can because there's so little of it. Anybody have any questions or comments about what I just showed you? Zoom out. And see how that's smoothing out now, everything? It looks a little wonky because I've got some leaves here that need to be colored in. And once we see those colored in, you're going to see this coming together. So what do you think? Thumbs up, thumbs down. I'm pretty happy with it. I think it turned out well, and I hope it gave you a good lesson in gouache painting. Okay, guys, I'm going to call it an evening. This is ILene Vick for Teaching Adult Coloring with ILene Vick. I hope you learned something, because that's the point. And I hope you enjoyed what I showed you on this particular picture. We don't have much more to go on this. And once I get the rest of those leaves in and the little girl, this all is really going to pop. Okay, guys. Calling it an evening. Take care. Guys, joyous, joyous coloring. Have a great rest of the evening. And I'll see you tomorrow night, same time, same place. I think we got us a good piece here. Take care, guys. Love ya. Bye.